What if the greatest source of power in your life is not a yes, but a no? We live in a world that worships yes. Say yes to the new project. Say yes to the social invitation. Say yes to the notification. Say yes to everyone else's demands. We are told that yes is the sound of opportunity, of growth, of being agreeable. But what if this is a lie? What if every yes you give to something trivial is a no you are forced to give to something essential? What if your constant agreement is the very chain that keeps you weak, distracted, and overwhelmed? This is the disease of the modern age, the disease to please, the compulsion to agree. And the result is an epidemic of burnout, anxiety, and a profound feeling of powerlessness. We feel like we are passengers in our own lives, slaves to our calendars, slaves to our inboxes, slaves to the opinions of strangers on a screen. 19 centuries ago, one man faced a world far more chaotic than our own. He commanded the most powerful empire on earth, yet he was surrounded by chaos. A relentless 14-year war on a frozen frontier, a devastating plague that wiped out millions, betrayal from his closest friends and generals. His name was Marcus Aurelius. And in the frozen mud of the battlefield, by candlelight in his tent, he did not write battle plans. He did not write laws. He wrote to himself. He wrote a private journal, a war manual for his own mind, which we now know as the Meditations. This book is not a gentle guide. It is not a list of easy affirmations. It is the brutal, honest, and powerful operating system of a man who understood a secret that we have forgotten. He understood that true power is not external. It is not about controlling armies or wealth or the opinions of others. True power is internal. It is the unconditional mastery of your own mind, the inner citadel, as he called it. And how did he build this fortress? Not by what he did, but by what he refused to do. Not by what he accepted, but by what he rejected. Marcus Aurelius built his unbreakable power on a foundation of powerful, deliberate, and profound refusals. These are the 7 no's of Stoic power, the 7 refusals that they do not teach you in school. This is not a quick fix video. This is a deep dive masterclass into the lost art of mental self-defense. We will deconstruct each of these 7 no's, why they are critical, how Marcus used them, and how you can apply them to reclaim your focus, your freedom, and your power in the modern world. If you are tired of feeling weak, distracted, and controlled, then prepare yourself. This is the Stoic guide to saying no to the world, so you can finally say yes to yourself. The first and most painful no is the refusal of external validation. Ask yourself, how much of your day is spent performing? How much energy is dedicated to managing how others perceive you? The carefully crafted comment, the filtered photo, the strategic silence in a meeting, or the calculated word, all designed to win one thing: approval. We are animals built for the tribe. For millennia, social approval meant survival. Banishment meant death. But today, this ancient software is running on overdrive, exploited by a digital world built to measure, rank, and quantify our social worth in real time. Likes, followers, subscribers, comments. It is a validation engine, and it is making us slaves. We have become puppets, dancing for the applause of an invisible, uncaring audience. Marcus Aurelius saw this 1900 years ago. He looked at the frantic social climbing in Rome, the obsession with fame, reputation, and legacy, and he called it what it was: insanity. He wrote to himself, "The approbation of others is irrelevant." And again, how much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks. Think of the sheer liberating power of that idea: to gain time, to reclaim your mental energy. Marcus understood that the person who lives for the approval of others has outsourced their happiness. They have given the keys to their own peace of mind to the mob, and the mob is fickle, cruel, and forgetful. He writes, "Look at the stars, running their courses, and think how they never worry about what men think." He saw praise as simply the clacking of tongues, a meaningless noise. He trained himself to be deaf to it. When he won a great victory, he did not indulge in the parades. When he was criticized, he did not wallow in defense. His focus was on one thing and one thing only: his own action. Was it right? Was it just? Was it in accordance with his principles? This is the internal scorecard. The world teaches us to live by an external scorecard. Did they like it? Did I get the promotion? Am I popular? This is a game you can never win, because the moment you win, the goalposts move. The Stoic lives by an internal scorecard. Did I act with courage? Did I speak with honesty? Did I endure this difficulty with patience? Did I do my best? This is the only game that matters. Consider the life of the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer. In 1818, he published his masterpiece, The World as Will and Representation. He believed it was the most important philosophical work ever written. The world's response? Absolute, deafening silence. It sold almost no copies. The reviews were either non-existent or mocking. The academic world, which he craved approval from, ignored him completely. By the logic of the external scorecard, he was a total failure. He could have changed his work. He could have pandered to the popular tastes of the time. He could have abandoned his ideas to win applause. He refused. He said no to their validation. He doubled down on his internal scorecard. He knew his work had value, even if no one else did. For decades, he lived in obscurity, refining his work, strengthening his ideas, indifferent to the clacking of tongues. It was only at the very end of his life that the world finally caught up to him. But by then, it didn't matter. He had already won the only victory that counts. He had been true to his work. This is the first refusal. It is the hardest because it means standing alone. It means saying no to that deep primal urge to be liked. So how do we practice this? First, you must define your own principles. Write them down. What do you value? Honesty? Discipline? Kindness? Craftsmanship? This becomes your internal scorecard. Second, practice negative visualization. Actively imagine being disliked. Imagine your post getting no likes. Imagine your idea being criticized. Imagine someone misunderstanding you. Feel that sting of disapproval, and then sit with it. Realize that you are still alive. You are still breathing. You are still you. You survive. This builds immunity. And third, stop performing. When you journal, journal for yourself, not for a future audience. When you speak, speak your truth, not the words you think others want to hear. This is the first step to power, to unplug from the validation matrix, to say a firm, quiet no to the opinions of others so you can say a clear, powerful yes to your own integrity. The second refusal is the no to internal slavery, the refusal to be a puppet of your own emotions. A car cuts you off in traffic. Your heart pounds, your face flushes. You lean on the horn, you shout, you are consumed by rage. A critical email lands in your inbox, your stomach drops. You spiral into anxiety, replaying the words over and over, your entire day hijacked by fear. A person you love disappoints you. You are flooded with resentment, the poison of bitterness coloring your every thought. Who is in control in these moments? Not you. You are a slave to a chemical reaction, a slave to an external event. You have surrendered your inner citadel without a fight. Marcus Aurelius lived in a world of extreme triggers. He was betrayed by his most trusted general, Avidius Cassius, who declared himself emperor and started a civil war. What would be the normal reaction? Blinding rage, vengeful fury, paranoia. Marcus's response was one of the most profound in history. He did not rage, he did not panic. He gathered his soldiers and he said, in essence, that he was saddened by the betrayal, not for himself, but for Cassius, who had broken his own honor. He expressed a hope that he could capture Cassius not to execute him, but to forgive him. This is not the reaction of a normal man. This is the reaction of a master. Marcus understood the core principle of Stoicism. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He knew that the event itself, the betrayal, was neutral. It was just a fact. What mattered, the only thing that ever mattered, was his judgment about it. He could choose to see it as a personal attack, an injustice, a catastrophe, or he could choose to see it as a test of his character, an opportunity to practice forgiveness, an opportunity to demonstrate true strength. He refused to let his emotions control him. He said no to rage. He said no to fear. This principle was tested in the most extreme conditions imaginable by the 20th century psychiatrist Viktor Frankl. Frankl was a prisoner in the Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz. He lost everything: his wife, his parents, his brother. He was starved, beaten, and surrounded by death. Every external factor of his life was a testament to absolute hopelessness. He had, by any measure, lost control over everything. And yet, in the depths of that suffering, he discovered a profound truth. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." He saw that the guards could control his body, they could control his environment, but they could not control his mind. They could not control his judgment. He and his fellow prisoners could choose to despair, or they could choose to find meaning, to hold on to the memory of a loved one, to practice a tiny, secret act of kindness. Frankl refused to let his captors define his internal state. He said no to despair, even in the face of hell itself. That refusal, That last human freedom is what kept his mind alive. We are not in Auschwitz, but we surrender this freedom a dozen times a day over the most trivial things: the slow driver, the rude commenter, the bad weather. We give our power away for free. How do we reclaim it? We practice the Stoic pause, the moment between the trigger and your response. The car cuts you off in traffic. Your heart pounds, your face flushes, you lean on the horn, you shout, you are consumed by rage. Pause. In that pause, you create a space. And in that space, you ask the question, is this event actually harming me? Or is it my judgment of this event that is harming me? Is this driver a mortal enemy? Or just a person who made a mistake or is in a hurry? You choose your response. You can choose anger, which ruins your day. Or you can choose indifference and preserve your peace. This is the second refusal. It is the no to emotional reactivity. It is the no to impulse. Practice the pause. Interrogate your first impressions. It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Refuse to accept your first emotional judgment, and in that refusal, you will find your fortress. You will find your strength. The third refusal is the no to the trivial, the refusal to waste your life. Your time is your life. It is the only resource you have that is finite, non-renewable, and ticking away with every heartbeat. To waste your time is, in the Stoic view, the ultimate act of self-harm. Marcus Aurelius was obsessed with this. The concept of memento mori, remember death, was not a morbid fixation. It was his ultimate focusing tool. He wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." He constantly filtered his thoughts and actions through a simple, brutal filter. Is this essential? In Meditations, he writes, "Most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Ask yourself at every moment, is this essential?" Imagine the most powerful man in the world, the emperor, constantly asking this question. Is this meeting necessary? Is this ceremony necessary? Is this worry necessary? He knew his time was short. He had an empire to run, a war to win, and a soul to save. He could not afford to be distracted. Now, look at our world. We live in an economy of distraction. Every app, every website, every platform is engineered with billion-dollar budgets for one purpose: to steal your time, to hijack your attention. The endless scroll, the binge watch, the 24-hour news cycle, the celebrity gossip, the notifications that pull you out of deep work, out of deep connection, out of your own life. We tell ourselves we are busy, but this is a lie. We are not busy. We are distracted. We are drowning in the non-essential. We are letting our lives be consumed by triviality. We are saying yes to everything, and therefore no to the one thing that matters, our purpose. Consider the man who helped create this modern world, Steve Jobs. Jobs was famously ruthless, not just with people, but with ideas. When he returned to Apple in 1997, the company was drowning. It was producing dozens of different products, beige boxes with confusing names. They were unfocused, uninspired, and near bankruptcy. What was his first move? He didn't add more, he subtracted. In a legendary meeting, he drew a simple 2x2 grid on a whiteboard, pro and consumer on one axis, desktop and portable on the other. He said, "This is our new product line. 4 products, that's it." He said no to everything else. He said no to good ideas, to decent products, to profitable divisions, so he could say yes to 4 great products. He later said, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that there are." This is the Stoic No to triviality, applied with surgical precision. Jobs was not a Stoic, but he instinctively understood this principle. He knew that greatness is not achieved by addition, but by subtraction. How do we apply this? You must adopt the filter of Marcus Aurelius. Is this essential? Before you say yes to a meeting, ask, is this essential? Before you pick up your phone to scroll, ask, is this essential? Before you engage in an argument, ask, is this essential? Before you worry about a future event, ask, is this essential? You must be a ruthless guardian of your time and attention. The second Stoic practice is the evening journal. Before you sleep, Marcus would say, review your day. Ask 3 questions. What did I do well that was essential? What did I do poorly? Where was I distracted? What duty was left undone? What essential task remains? This isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. It's about training your mind day after day to separate the signal from the noise. This is the third refusal. It is the no to distraction. It is the no to the cult of being busy. It is the no to a life wasted on the trivial. Because death is hanging over you. And the only tragedy is to arrive at the end full of regrets, knowing you wasted your one precious life on things that did not matter.
The fourth refusal is the rejection of the most comforting and most poisonous story of all, the story of the victim. It is the refusal to blame. It's so easy. I can't succeed because of the economy. I'm unhappy because of my boss. My relationship failed because of my partner. I'm this way because of my past. Blame is a shield. It protects our ego. It absolves us of responsibility. And it feels good for a moment. But it is a trap. Because the moment you blame an external force, you have declared yourself powerless. You have made yourself a victim. And a victim, by definition, cannot change their own circumstances. They must wait for the blamed thing to change. Wait for the economy to improve. Wait for the boss to leave. Wait for the world to magically become fair. The victim waits forever. Marcus Aurelius had every reason to play the victim. He was sick for most of his life, suffering from chronic pain. He was betrayed by his general. He saw his children and his wife die. He spent over a decade of his reign not in a palace, but in a cold, damp tent on the Danube frontier, fighting brutal barbarian tribes. He could have written a journal filled with blame. Woe is me! Why is this happening? It's not fair. Instead, he wrote one of the most powerful sentences in human history. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Read that again. What stands in the way becomes the way. He didn't blame the obstacle. He used it. The obstacle was not a roadblock. It was a bridge. The brutal war, it was a chance to practice courage and leadership. The betrayal, a chance to practice forgiveness. His chronic sickness, a chance to practice patience and discipline. The freezing cold, a chance to practice endurance. He refused to see himself as a victim of circumstance. He chose to see himself as an agent of virtue. He took radical, 100% responsibility. This is the dichotomy of control, the most practical tool in Stoicism. Epictetus taught it simply. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. What is not up to us? The weather, the economy, what other people say or do, our past. What is up to us? Our thoughts, our judgments, our choices, our actions. The person who blames lives their life in the not up to us category. They are a permanent passenger. The Stoic, the master, dedicates 100% of their energy to the up to us category. They are the driver. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling. In the early 1990s, her life was, by any external measure, a failure. She was in her late 20s, divorced, clinically depressed, a single mother, and so poor she was living on government welfare. She had every excuse to blame the world. She could have blamed her ex-husband. She could have blamed the system. She could have blamed her bad luck. She could have accepted the identity of victim, and no one would have faulted her. She refused. She said no to the story of victimhood. She looked at her life and applied the dichotomy of control, even if she didn't know the name. She couldn't control her poverty. She couldn't control her depression. She couldn't control her past. But she could control one thing: her mind and her pen. She took 100% responsibility for the one thing she could do. She had an idea for a story. And so, in between caring for her daughter and fighting depression, she went to cafes and she wrote. She didn't wait for the world to rescue her. She didn't wait for her circumstances to improve. She knew, as the Stoics did, that no one was coming to save her. That obstacle, the poverty, the depression, the failure, did not stop her. It became the way. It forged her resilience. It fueled her imagination. And from that rock bottom, she built an empire. This is the power of the fourth refusal. Stop blaming. It's a chain you forge for yourself. The world is not out to get you. It is simply indifferent. How do you practice this? Every time you find yourself thinking, I can't because, stop. Rephrase it. I am in this situation. What action can I take? Blame looks to the past. Responsibility looks to the present. Blame surrenders control. Responsibility seizes it.
The fifth refusal is the no to the ghosts of the future. The refusal to suffer from things that have not happened. We call this anxiety. Worrying about the presentation next week. Fearing you'll get fired. Catastrophizing about your health, your finances, your children. What if, what if, what if? Our minds have a unique and terrible talent. The ability to leave the present, the only place we actually live, and travel into an imagined future, experiencing all the pain, fear, and grief of events that may never come to pass. As Seneca, another great Stoic, wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. we are paying interest with our mental health on a debt of pain that may never even be due. Marcus Aurelius lived under the shadow of real threats, real barbarians, real plagues, real assassins. Yet he trained his mind to stay in the present. He wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." What a powerful idea. He wasn't saying don't plan. The Stoics were planners. They were generals, politicians, and merchants. He was saying don't worry. Planning is present action. It is rational. The enemy might attack from the north. I will station my troops there. This is logical. Worrying is future fantasy. It is emotional. Oh my God, what if they attack from the north and the south? And what if we lose and I'm captured and... This is useless suffering. Marcus refused to suffer twice. If the bad event happened, he would deal with it then, with the same reason and virtue he had now. But he would not, under any circumstances, allow himself to be broken by a ghost of his own creation. This brings us back to Seneca. He was one of the richest men in Rome. He was a tutor to the emperor. He had power, estates, and influence. And he knew he could lose it all in a second on the whim of a mad emperor like Nero. He was surrounded by real, not imagined, danger. So how did he cope? He didn't just wait for disaster. He rehearsed it. He invented a practice that is one of the most powerful in all of psychology, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. He would actively, deliberately, and regularly imagine the worst-case scenario. He would ask, "What if I lose all my wealth?" And he would answer, "Well, I would live simply. I would eat bread and water. I have done so before. I would survive. What if I am exiled from Rome? Well, I would live in a new land. My mind is my home. I would still be able to think and write and study philosophy. I would survive. What if I am sentenced to death? Well, death comes for us all. It is the one great equalizer. I will face it with courage, as a philosopher should." He wasn't being morbid. He was performing psychological exposure therapy. He was desensitizing himself to his greatest fears. By practicing poverty, he made himself immune to the fear of poverty. By practicing exile, he made himself immune to the fear of exile. When the real event finally came, and it did, Nero forced him to commit suicide. Seneca was ready. He faced it with a calm, unbreakable tranquility that astonished everyone present. He had already lived this moment in his mind. It held no terror for him. This is the Stoic No to anxiety. How do we practice this? We stop what-ifing and start premeditating. When you feel anxious about a future event, a difficult conversation, a financial risk, do not run from the fear. Walk into it. Ask, what is the absolute worst that could happen? Write it down in vivid detail. Then ask, if this happened, what would I do? What practical steps would I take? Who would I call? How would I survive? And finally, how could I practice virtue, courage, resilience, wisdom in this moment? You will discover one of two things. The worst case is actually survivable, or the fear of the event was 1,000 times worse than the event itself. You are robbing the future of its power over you. You are refusing to be terrorized by ghosts. You are saying no to anxiety and yes to the present.
If the fifth refusal frees us from the future, the sixth refusal frees us from the past. It is the no to regret and resentment.
If anxiety is the poison of the future, these too are the poison of the past. Regret, the endless loop of if only I had taken that job, if only I had said, I love you, if only I hadn't made that mistake. Resentment, the toxic fire of he, she, they. He shouldn't have done that to me. She betrayed me. They ruined everything. Both are chains. Both tie you to a past that is dead, unchangeable, and absolutely outside of your control. To live in regret or resentment is to be a ghost, haunting the ruins of a life that no longer exists, while your actual life, the one happening right now, slips through your fingers. Marcus Aurelius' life was filled with potential resentment. His co-emperor, Lucius Verus, was lazy, self-indulgent, and irresponsible. Marcus did all the work. His wife, Faustina, was the subject of vicious rumors in Rome, rumors of infidelity, rumors of poisoning. His general, Cassius, betrayed him. How much ink would we spill in our journals about these injustices? In the 12 books of the Meditations, Marcus writes not one single word of resentment about these people. It is staggering. He mentions Lucius Verus only to praise his good qualities. He mentions his wife only with love and gratitude. He mentions his betrayer only with a desire to forgive. This isn't him being fake. This is him practicing the ultimate form of Stoic power, amor fati, the love of fate. It is not just accepting the past, it is loving it. It is the belief that everything that has happened, the good, the bad, and the ugly, was necessary. It was all training. It was all part of the path to forge you into the person you are today. To wish the past were different is to wish you were different. To resent a past event is to be at war with reality. And as the philosopher Byron Katie says, when you argue with reality, you lose, but only 100% of the time. Marcus refused to argue with reality. The past was outside his control. It was a fact. His judgment of it, however, was inside his control. He chose to see it all as fuel, as education, as destiny. He said no to the poison of resentment. The greatest modern example of this refusal is, without question, Nelson Mandela. Mandela was arrested by an unjust government for fighting for the freedom of his people. He was put on trial and sentenced to life in prison. He spent 27 years locked in a tiny cell on Robben Island, performing hard labor. 27 years stolen from him. He had every right to be consumed by resentment. He had every right to hate his captors. The world expected him to emerge from that prison, a man broken by bitterness, breathing fire and vengeance. And instead, the man who walked out was a giant. He was serene. He was calm. He was free. He had long since forgiven his jailers. He had learned their language, Afrikaans. He had studied their history. He understood why they were afraid. He had refused to let them poison his mind, even as they imprisoned his body. He famously said, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." This is the sixth refusal. He said no to resentment. He practiced amor fati. He used those 27 years as a crucible, burning away his own anger, his own pride, until only the pure steel of his character remained. And with that strength, he saved his country. How do we practice this? When you feel the sting of regret, if only, you must reframe it. That mistake was not a failure. It was a lesson. You paid a price for that lesson. Do not waste it by simply regretting it. Learn from it. That lesson was necessary for you to gain the wisdom you have today. When you feel the fire of resentment, he did this. You must practice empathy and acceptance. You cannot change what they did. It is a fact, burned into history. Your only choice is whether you will carry that fire inside you, burning yourself from the inside out, or whether you will set it down. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to the other person. It is a gift you give to yourself. It is the act of saying, I will no longer be your prisoner. Say no to the past. Love your fate. It was the only path that could have led you to this moment, and this moment is all you have.
We have arrived at the seventh and final refusal. It is the no that protects all the others. It is the refusal of comfort, the no to softness. We are creatures designed for a hard world, a world of scarcity, of danger, of effort. Our bodies and minds are built to be anti-fragile, to get stronger when stressed. And yet, we now live in a world of profound, almost suffocating comfort. The temperature is always 72 degrees. Food, loaded with salt, sugar, and fat, can be delivered to your chair with a click. Entertainment, endless and passive, is available 24/7. We have engineered every last bit of friction, effort, and discomfort out of our lives. And it is killing us. It is making us physically weak, but more dangerously, it is making us mentally weak. Because we are never uncomfortable, we lose our tolerance for any discomfort. The slightest inconvenience becomes a crisis. A difficult conversation is unbearable. A moment of boredom is intolerable. A little bit of hunger is a disaster. Comfort is the silent killer. It is the enemy of resilience. It slowly, pleasantly erodes your inner citadel until nothing is left but a pile of ruins. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor. He could have lived his entire life in the palace, wrapped in silk, eating delicacies. He chose to live in a tent. He chose to sleep on a hard pallet. He chose to eat the same coarse food as his soldiers. He chose to stand on the frozen banks of the Danube, in the wind and the mud. Why? It wasn't because he liked being miserable. It was because he was training. He was building his resilience. He was hardening his mind. He was practicing voluntary hardship so that when involuntary hardship came, as it always does, he would be ready. He writes about the most basic hardship of all, getting out of bed. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain about if I'm going to do what I was born for? Or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm? He refused to be soft. He said no to the easy path. We have a modern-day embodiment of this principle, a man who has turned the refusal of comfort into an art form. David Goggins. Goggins is a man who was dealt a hand of profound involuntary hardship, abuse, poverty, racism, learning disabilities, obesity. He could have been broken by it, but at his lowest point, he made a choice. He chose to stop being the victim, and he did it by actively, even psychopathically, seeking out voluntary hardship. He decided to become a Navy SEAL. He had to lose over 100 pounds in 3 months. He ran on broken legs. He taped his feet together and kept going. He calloused his mind. He runs ultramarathons on a whim. He does 4,000 pull-ups. He seeks out the pain, the cold, the exhaustion. Why? To callous his mind. He is building his inner citadel with the bricks of suffering. He is practicing the 7th refusal at a level most of us can barely comprehend. He is saying no to his own weakness again and again and again until that weakness has no voice left. He is proving that the human spirit is not made of glass to be protected. It is made of steel to be forged. Now, you don't have to be David Goggins, but you must find a way to practice voluntary hardship. How? It's simple. Do hard things. On purpose. Take the cold shower, just for 1 minute. When your body is screaming no, your mind says yes. You are teaching your mind that it is in charge, not your body's desire for comfort. Fast. Skip a meal. Feel the real sensation of hunger and realize that it's just a sensation. It doesn't control you. Exercise. When you don't want to, when you're tired, that is the most important time to do it. You are refusing to be governed by your feelings. Do the hard task first. Don't procrastinate. Attack the thing you dread. Every time you choose the hard path over the easy one, you are casting a vote for your own strength. You are saying no to softness. You are building your resilience. This is the 7th refusal. It is the no to comfort, because a soul that has never been tested is a soul that cannot be trusted.
Today we have walked the path of the Stoic. We have learned the 7 no's that build an unbreakable life. Number 1, no to external validation, to free yourself from the opinions of others. Number 2, no to uncontrolled emotions, to reclaim your inner citadel and master your response. Number 3, no to distraction and triviality, to guard your time and focus on what is essential. Number 4, no to blame and victimhood, to take radical responsibility and see the obstacle as the way. Number 5, no to imagined fears, to free yourself from the anxiety of a future that has not happened. Number 6, no to regret and resentment, to free yourself from the prison of a past you cannot change. And number 7, no to comfort and softness, to forge your resilience and build a spirit that cannot be broken. These 7 no's are not negative. They are not about deprivation. They are the most powerful acts of creation you will ever perform. Every no to distraction creates the space for focus. Every no to the opinion of others creates the space for integrity. Every no to emotion creates the space for reason. Every no to comfort creates the space for strength. The world has taught you, from birth, to say yes. Yes to demands, yes to expectations, yes to distractions, and it has left you feeling powerless. Today, Marcus Aurelius has taught you a different path, the path of refusal. This is the power they do not teach in school. This is the power that forged an empire, not of land, but of the mind. The power is already in you. It is just buried under a lifetime of saying yes to the wrong things. Your new life begins with a no.